they're both playing with an awful lot of confidence right now, and I think that's key. Confidence. If you can plug confidence into the socket of any quarterback, they are all of a sudden. Gamer is not even as big a word. Both these kids have won big games. Your Deshaun here, Clemson just won a big fist fight out of Louisville, and that bodes well for confidence. That he can gut it out with his team. They had some situations not go their way in that game, and that goes to just a lot of just grit, for lack of a better word. Deshaun Kaiser, this is another big heavyweight match for him. Georgia Tech was his first official start. And, he was able to pull through. So once you kind of come through there and you go through the rest of the week with your teammates and, they're telling, you just get the reinforcement from them and your coaching staff that I was out there every offensive snap. I was able to pull this off. You believe in me. You believe in me. He believes in me. And, it kind of goes in. They're both incredible passers for being so young. They're both very talented passers, which, just as a fan of quarterbacks, this is what's going to be tough this weekend with, this monsoon they're going to play in. So hopefully they're not going to hand off 90 times a game. But they are incredible passers, and they're a newer age of player. So for the longest you had the big, pocket passer who set up in the pocket and just drilled passes downfield. Then you had the pendulum kind of swing to the dual threat and the Mike Vick, and wow, this guy he can throw it, but he can also take off 50. Now you've seen this kind of more moderate mix of pocket passer, but man, it's hard to get him. And if you do get him, it's hard to bring him down. And they're not run-first kids, they're pass-first kids. So that's going to keep Clemson and Notre Dame in this playoff race, I think deep into the holiday season when you have this model of kid playing, especially this confidently and supported by offensive staffs like they're supported by. Don't forget those staffs behind.
Does Deshaun Watson remind you of any NFL quarterback?
Does Deshaun Watson remind me of any NFL quarterback? There's elements to his game. I think the traits he's showing are NFL-esque. He throws with a lot of anticipation, and the toughest ball I think you can throw in football is that level 2 ball, right? So you either throw a ball, like if we played catch in this hallway, it's a level 1 ball because the ball doesn't come off the ground that high. Then you can throw a bomb. So that's a level 1 ball, and there's a bomb, but there's the ball in between. So I have to get this ball somewhere in a hurry, but it has to get up over somebody. That's a difficult throw. And those throws that you see Aaron Rodgers make, Romo, Brady, they're going on time. That ball still has a motor on it, but they elevate it just enough to eliminate this defender and get it back down over the linebackers. And I'm going to actually do a breakdown on that with Deshaun and game day. So that's NFL-esque. I don't know if there's a name or a quarterback that I would, necessarily compare him to right now, but, he's got, a big vision scope. He sees the field well. He's not gun shy, and he's not greedy. He's right in between. He can take a home run shot when he feels he has it, and he can dump it down when he feels that's the most prudent thing to do.
He's looking way ahead, but his 11 games in college, what do you see that he has to most work on to translate to the NFL?
Well, great question. I just like the progression he's on now, and I think it's a good question. What does he need between now and the NFL? Reps, 2 more years. Young quarterbacks need flight hours, like a pilot, right? So no matter how talented you are or how much promise you have, you need time in the air, in the cockpit flying. And the more hours you can accrue, the better pilot you become. And, there's only been 3 quarterbacks, and I think in the modern era, to play 1 year, basically, of major college football and then go to the NFL in the first round. And that was Matt Blunden at Virginia, Mark Sanchez at USC, and Cam Newton at Auburn. Everybody else needed at least 2, right? So I just think the flight hours are going to help Deshaun. And then physicality. He's not going to be the same size when he comes out of Clemson. And he's going to wind up being 225, 230. I don't think he hit his grown man growth spurt just yet. He's still young and kind of a lighter frame. But that frame's going to fill out, and then his mentality will kind of change with that frame.
looking
maybe
2 years
bolder.
looking
ahead.
2 years down the road with that in mind.
Yep.
You know, his frame size, growth, there's more snaps. What do you see for his potential? What's his ceiling?
Unlimited. Just because he is such a gifted, two things. He's such a gifted distributor. You know, I don't want to just say thrower, because to say somebody's a gifted thrower is limiting, right? You can turn and throw somebody out at second base, you can break a window with a rock. To be an incredible distributor, which means he can throw you a pass if you're open. His grandma could be 10 yards downfield, he can drop a ball to her, or he can fire a shot to Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson, whoever it is. Like, he's a great distributor, meaning he understands the back end of the pass. Who's on the other end? How do I need to get it there? And what's the best route to do that? So I think that understanding is kind of natural to him, and he's very smart. This is a very smart young man. He played at a high-level program back in Alpharetta, Georgia. Comes here to Clemson. Everybody wants to play for Coach Sweeney, especially as a quarterback. You're going to get to run the offense. It's going to go through you. And that's exactly what he got a chance to do. So, you know, I think he's going to be an NFL player. You know, we don't have to tiptoe around that. I think both these kids are. And I think Deshaun's going to be an early round player. All respect to the NFL, you know, wise men and everybody up there with me touting this kid as a prospect, but he is.
There's been so much discussion with Leonard Fournette and running backs in general going to the league early. Do you ever see an era where quarterbacks consider sitting out just to protect their health, or do you go back to the flight hours that they need?
Flight hours. Yeah, you know, you would like to say that, but the NFL is not a place where you learn to hit the curveball. And I had many discussions with quarterbacks that we've worked with who felt they were either ready to come out and go to the NFL, tired of the program they were in, wanted to, quote, learn and be on the sideline. I just want to come out of here, coach. And I said, that's not a place where you go, you know, you don't go to the major leagues and then figure out how to hit the curveball, because it's coming too fast and it's too vicious up there. They gotta play. Now, if you put a great campaign together and you redshirt it and you put 2 strong years together and all indications are you can go pretty high, then you got to make that decision with your family. But a running back and a quarterback, 2 totally different scopes. You know, Fournette will have to pick up pass protections, and you know, you're not going to line up next to an NFL quarterback if you can't protect for him. And then understanding, who am I responsible for? This linebacker, that safety, wait, that safety, then this linebacker. So there would be some things, but a running back can do that faster than a quarterback can. You know, they could do that. You can kind of cultivate a scenario where a back can go out there and produce faster than a young quarterback would be able to, in my opinion.
What do you make out of Kaiser coming into this environment? Is there something to make out of first start for a freshman at a place like this, or really that people blow that up more than it is?
No. I don't think you can overstate that. This is one of the most dynamic places to play college football, right? Just because the history, and it is it's almost like coming inside a small nation when they get all that stuff going and the Howard's Rock thing pregame. But there have been quarterbacks that have come in here just as young as Kaiser and had success, and they had to kind of buckle in and, you know, weave themselves back into their team, their team structure. And one of those kids I would say would be Jameis. You know, Jameis and Deshaun Kaiser both have kind of come in here at the same time. Both, you know, Jameis is on that track. Kaiser is playing unexpectedly early. But Brian Kelly's going to have Notre Dame ready to go, but there'll be a hostile environment. The weather conditions are going to play a different element, and he's going to have to go toe-to-toe with an offense that can also strike back at him. I mean, he may have to keep up. You don't know what scenario you'll be in, but he's going to have to score points. This would be a dynamic test for Deshaun.
If they can't run the ball and play off that play action the way they do, is that going to make it even more difficult, I guess, for him to be successful?
No question. That would be difficult even without this monsoon that we got coming. And if you can't run the ball, you can't dictate terms, because that means they're controlling you up front with 4 or 5 players. And now they can bring, you know, safeties and defensive backs at their leisure. If you can run the ball, everybody back there has to have an eye on that backfield, commit to stopping the run first. Okay, we got the run stop. Then now let's play them in the air. But you can't dictate terms if you simply can't run. And you're seeing some teams out there kind of struggle with that now, you know, kind of like Ohio State. You know, they're not running like they were running to end the season last year. It affects the rest of the program. The rest of the offense. So it's going to be big for Notre Dame to come in and get those guys going up front.
How much can the weather affect these two quarterbacks mentally? Overthinking throws, overthinking getting the snap, those sort of things.
That's a great question. How much can it affect them mentally? Well, you're going to come in here now with the element of caution. So I think you're going to just be more conscious of setting your feet. So a throw you might have made on the run, maybe you want to stop and settle down. A throw that you may have in your back pocket, just a fire to the sideline, you probably will double check that. The ball is going to be heavier. It's going to be tougher to control. Both these kids are big kids with big hands, so the ball security still, everything is just heightened. I'll be curious to see if you see that much shotgun tomorrow, because that's just an added element. Center has to mail the ball back to me, and I have to catch it and then turn it into something. Otherwise, I can just go up and get it directly myself. So it'd be interesting to see how much shotgun we run tomorrow. And then their mindsets. I don't think they're going to think home run tomorrow. I think they'll probably both think base hit an awful lot of times. Where can I just get the completion? The advantage is still the offense's advantage in inclement weather. We know where we're going, but the onus is on you to get it done, and you being the quarterback. So can you take advantage of the instability in the surface back there, the defenders? If you can do that, you got a chance. But they're not, it'd be curious. I've seen Notre Dame throw it 30, 40 times a game before in rain. And Clemson doesn't seem to have too much of a problem doing that either. But I don't know if either team's played in something like what we're supposed to have tomorrow. So, they'll be looking to the sidelines, and the coaches in rowboats are holding up their signs of what they want them to do. But it should be a great game. But I think they got to just think, just get on base. Play field position, as opposed to why not.
Is there anything you do with your training to simulate wet conditions?
Oh boy, well, so we trained in San Diego.
On the beach?
We never see this, right? So I've been outside I've been in San Diego 10 years. We never see rain. The closest we get, we put those guys in the beach, then eventually into the ocean. And then, sometimes we just keep a sprinkler on, a water hose, and then, you have a stack of footballs in a bucket, and then you constantly don't even let them dry the ball, don't let them dry their hands. Reach in, grab the wet ball, run your rep. And, you kind of grip it. You don't want to squeeze that because it'll slip out of your hands. You got to grip it a little bit more cautiously and set yourself up. But she asked a great question. What do you have to prepare for mentally to play it? Everything heightens. Everything heightens. Should be fun.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
You got